This is the Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco.
Pete and Sebastian Show, we're back. Happy New Year, guy.
Is this the first show of the new year?
Yeah, man, it is. It is.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I know.
This is what, 8 years running, and we have our deal is up with iHeartRadio.
That's it.
8 years. We have no deal. We're back to doing this for free. And it makes no difference either way, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, like it's practically free for in your realm. But we're doing this free, like all the way back to the.
We're not getting paid for nothing.
Is this even going to be on iHeart right now?
I don't even know where it is when it's on iHeart. I just know it's on Apple Tunes or whatever the hell, Apple Podcasts. That's all I know.
So they're not knocking down our door, being like, guys.
Knocking down what door? We don't even. There's no. We're living in a tent, bro. What door?
We're changing lives. I see the emails, the thank yous, the quality of the show. I mean, listen, we've been through this a zillion times. What do we got to do? Get a fucking hot air balloon and go over a stadium with a billboard? I mean, we're in the top 100. We should have a home.
We'll have a home. We're working on it, but right now we're free agents, and most free agents, they sit out until they get a new contract. Pete and Sebastian, we play through with no paycheck. Okay,
it's unheard of. We're an agent's dream. Now, let me ask you this: I haven't been to a movie in a while. When I see a new one out on that pay-per-view, they're usually like a really good one's like $19.99, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, let's just $19.99 per show. $80 a month if you want to listen to us 4 times. And we'll have like 3 listeners: Stu the wine guy, 2 other people. Small audience, but boy, will they get a show, man.
Well, I got some off-air topics to talk to you about in regards to the show and being a free agent.
Yeah, I know. We're just kidding around.
No, yeah, absolutely. We'll sink our teeth into that. Let's get into some happenings over the last 7 days. Friends of ours rented out a movie theater so we could all see a movie without worrying about COVID.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
That's fantastic.
it's one of these. It's called iPick. It's one of these kind of high-end movie theaters where every seat is like the one I'm sitting in. It's like a recliner. They got blankets. You could order tuna tartare to your seat. You know, one of these joints.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I've heard of them, but I know you probably feel like I do already. I don't want to interrupt you.
Listen, 50 seats, right? That's how many seats are in the theater. 50 seats. All right. How much to rent out the theater for one movie? What 50 seats.
Does that include the food and the tartare and all that?
There's a minimum amount of food that you got to order, and there's a dollar amount on that. So there's a separate charge for the rental, and there's a separate charge for the food. What do you think
seats.
the minimum is on the food and the rental?
Full rental, $20,000.
Wow. $1,600 to rent it out.
That's nothing.
Basically bought every seat, right? You buy every seat. So
I don't know why I was thinking like maybe it was some kind of movie that's not out yet or something. Yeah, all right. So
no, it's out.
Basically,
it's out.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, multiply by
rent one
seat.
theater. Yeah, the $30 a seat. You get 50 seats, $1,500, $1,600. and $1,000 food minimum. So basically $2,500. You get food and a movie. And we had, 3 families there total.
Okay.
With testing at the door. Rapid.
Wow.
I gotta tell you, 2,500 to rent out a movie theater with basically all you could eat food with waiters and shit serving you. Well worth it. No,
it sounds really well worth it, and I don't know. It's the people you're probably rolling with in this environment, though. Anyone who it sounds like they all probably have their own private movie theaters at home as well.
This particular couple does not, but. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, am I the only one that goes to these things and tries to figure out how much the shit costs? Like, there was another dad there, and I'm wondering, is he sitting there looking around, it's my 16 on them, and it's Yeah. The only one I have to play this game with is my wife. So during the movie, I tap her, I go, how much you think for the whole thing? She goes, what? I go, for the rental and the food minimum. and she goes, I already know. I'm like, what? She did some research beforehand and got the total from the wife, how much it was, which I thought was beautiful because Lana, her and money, she don't ask anything about how much shit costs. So.
Right. Man, I was way off.
Way off.
Holy Jesus. Now, I got to say, though, as I get older, I've taken Sadie right before the pandemic kicked into the movie theater, and great seat or old seat like I was sitting in, it don't matter. And the blanket, the blanket, I mean, unless you're literally handing me a blanket still in the plastic from the fucking ship from China that it came in, I can't get comfortable in, especially a big deep chair where my head's going back. So many people have been in it. It takes away now from me a little bit.
Bro, you're sitting in an airplane seat with bacteria all over the seat.
90% of the time to go somewhere to get money. You know what I'm saying? I am flying on a Saturday with my daughter. I don't know. I mean, there's chairs where I am. They only go up to here, and I'm fine with it. But those, anytime, even like airport or mall, I've done the big massage chair where you put the money in, and as it's rubbing me, I just can't get past the idea how many people it's been rubbing. And the blanket, that threw me off. You used the blanket? Did you use it?
I didn't use anything that nothing. I just used the seat.
Right. And this ain't COVID. This is life. You know what I'm saying? This is just general life. There could be no COVID, and I'm still like... general life. I don't take any pillows and or blankets that are exposed and not in the wrapping it came in. So let's just... Right. But that's an insane deal, bro. I mean, that is something to look into around here, because your average person like me would think this is big money, man.
No. This was a reasonable amount of money for really a great experience. Kids had a blast. Saw Sing 2. Now, that was during the day. That was New Year's Eve day. This same couple invited Lana and I over to their house for New Year's Eve night for dinner, right? Now, they just built a house. Beautiful, right? We come in. You got out and you smell fire. Like there's a fire somewhere on the property, right? Right. So they got a fireplace off to the side where the front door is, where a little seating area. That's already cooking. I think it's been lit for maybe an hour and a half. It's not fresh.
Right.
It's in it. It's in it, right?
That's
we
nice.
walk in. I start to hear a piano. Now, this ain't a piano through speakers. This is someone's playing the piano.
Wow.
Now I'm thinking this is a piano that's like you turn it on and it plays itself, right?
Yeah, right.
They hired a pianist for the four of us.
Holy sh!
All right.
Oh my God! Like, just for background piano playing, not like the
Just tinkling the ivories as we sit and have a little wine and cheese.
That's fantastic, man.
So then we walk in the kitchen. There's a chef making the dinner, right? Now,
Oh man.
we have some cheese and wine, and then we move into the dining room, right? And we start to talk. But then I drove there, right? I had, let's say, a good 2.5, maybe 3 glasses of wine. All right, not full wine. And by the way, when I pour wine, I don't pour it all the way or even half. I give it a quarter pour,
Right.
right? It's the way you pour wine. Talk about lifestyle and education, and that's how this show kind of teaches you how to behave in life. When you go and pour wine, you pour a quarter of what the glass could actually hold. This is because when you go in and you drink it, your nose has room to get the aroma of the wine. If it's filled, the wine can't breathe right. That's why you do this. Plus, if you ever see a person walking around with a full glass of wine, we could definitely label them trash. Right?
Yeah. Well, I hear you, man.
There's no wells.
But I still like the old school Italian way out of the juice glass, man. I still dig that. I just find that to be, I dig it, you know?
What, out of that little glass? That little
Like a rock glass almost, man.
Man, it's old school, but I like a stem.
I know, but I see when you like if I pour for somebody, if I over pour, you know, they're like they always have a comment with the wine, like it should be only half or a little less.
Yeah, just give it a little touch. You don't need to go overboard with it.
All right.
Now we're there from 7 to 10:45. That's 3.5 hours. So I'm averaging, maybe a glass an hour.
Nothing.
By the way, nothing. By the way, I gotta pat myself on the back. Midway through the dinner, the husband starts to yawn. I clocked that, right? I clocked the yawn.
Yeah.
And I go, all right, let me see when the next one's coming. I want to time his yawns, right?
Bro, I swear to God, I see one yawn. I whisper to the wife, get your coat. Countdown is on. This guy's yawning. I mean, especially, and I know you feel this way too, considering the company, you're yawning in front of me. That means you'd already be passed out in front of your average personality. Right? Oh, my God.
Man.
Nobody yawns, man. Nobody yawns hanging out with us, right? And I get it. He probably took a long day to set up. Now, before we go any further, I've done the yawn, and then I've looked at my company to say, don't mistake that with the hang I'm having. I just blah, blah, blah. Do you take that at its word, or do you still say, we're out of here, Lana?
I look at, if somebody comments on their own yawn, I gotta go with what that person's commenting. Like if you yawn and go, I ain't tired, don't worry about it. This guy didn't. He did a yawn, and I almost thought he kind of yawned and he kind of looked at me to see if I caught it. Like.
Do you think he wanted you to see it a little bit? Like,
yeah, I thought he yawned a little extra long until I caught it. Right, like he was gonna shut his mouth, but then he kept it open a little longer. Right.
You ever seen him after they yawn when people do like almost like they swallowed something? They keep going. and keep moving the mouth. I'm like, oh, that was a big one, man. He's got to do a swallow after the yawn. Shit. Now, are we even close to midnight or no?
I clocked the yawn about 10 after 10, so I'm like, and I didn't plan on staying till midnight anyway.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay, all right.
He does another yawn, I'd say 3.5 minutes later. So I'm clocking the yawns under every yawn's about every 4 minutes. I'm getting a yawn for 4 yawns, right? 4 yawns, 16 minutes, right?
Tracking like the lightning and the thunder to see if the storm's getting closer. So if the yawns get closer and closer, then that means that's like, this guy's close to verbally telling me to get the fuck out of here. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. And that, you can't have that.
And the beauty of this is no one's doing this. Like, other than you and me, I don't know anybody out there that's timing yawns, right?
No, I mean,
during a dinner, right? Like his wife was talking. I was listening to his wife, and out of the corner of my eye, I see him going for another yawn. And mentally, I go, number 3 yawn, but still talking to the wife, right?
No, bro. These are like the way an Indian can track somebody, through the desert. This is like a skill that you've acquired. It's your inherent skill that very few have. I mean, to sense this all, man. And if he wanted to know too, within $1, you could also tell him what he spent on that entire day on you and your family. That's how honored you are.
Well, here's another thing. I walk in and I go, "You got a pianist for the night?" I go, "Look at it." And I'm saying this right in front of the woman who's playing. I go, "Look, this is a nice stuff." So I go to the girl, I go, "You go through an agency for this? Like, how do you hire a pianist? Like, what do you do?"
Right.
She called like William Morris and said, "You got anybody that does parties?" This is like from a legitimate agency.
Right.
It's not from the back of a newspaper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, man, I mean, this is coming from the husband of a guy who rents llamas. And you're asking how you get a piano player? Probably a lot easier to get in a llama.
Oh, God. So, I don't know if you've ever done this move.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing the yawns, do you go to yourself, all right, when am I going to tell him that we're leaving? Like, I needed an opening because it was still dinner. I'm figuring they got some dessert coming out. I figure once the dessert is dropped, I feel as a guest, it's an obligation of mine to tell the host, I saw your yawn.
Right.
All right?
Right.
And now I'm going to tell you so you know I saw it when I'm going to leave, right? Like, you got to, as a guest, acknowledge someone's yawning.
Okay.
And as soon as the dessert hits the table, I tell Lana, I go, these people are dying to go to bed, so wolf down the cake and we'll get out of here. You'll get out of your hair. That's what I said.
Oh, you go with an all out for the table, full on joke / yeah.
Oh yeah. I get the point across. It's masked with humor.
Oh, you got this is lightly masked.
But here's the thing.
No, I was smooth, man.
He didn't say nothing. Like, he didn't go, nah, don't worry about it. Stay as long as you want. He was actually happy that I said that because he was dying to go to bed. And there was no resistance whatsoever.
Right. He didn't even have time to do the nice manner dance,
No, because once I said that, he did another yawn.
Wow. But now
he
So you go, Lana, we'll whoop this. They're dying. They're exhausted. Let's whoop this down. We'll head home. Then he yawns. You should have said, you know what, Lana? Get the apple pie to go. Right. But, bro, I didn't realize he was yawning before the dessert came out. That's mixed signals. Yeah. That's mixed signals. I mean, I see that you probably want me to get going. You're tired. But on the one hand, how rude is it for me not to stay for the desserts to be put on the table? He shouldn't have hit you with the first yawn until halfway through the dessert.
I don't think he could have helped it. This guy was exhausted from the get-go, bro. He was, all right. Yeah. He was ready for us to leave as soon as we got there. So 10:45, I'm in my car. I'm driving home, Sunset Boulevard, right?
Yeah.
Lana's talking to me. And I say 800 yards up the road, I see flashing lights, cops. But almost as if there's an accident up ahead, that type of deal. And I quickly process checkpoint.
Yeah.
All right?
Right.
Now, what's that?
I don't like I just don't like those checkpoints, you know what I mean?
Have you ever been through one?
I have. But, just said a few words and moved on. You know, they look for the people that get off the line.
Well, there was the way they had this thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you saw it, right? Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers, as soon as you saw it, there was no way to get off. Like, you were in. You were in. You would have to go, reverse. There was no way to, ditch this thing, right?
Yeah.
So Lana's still talking. She's like, and you know what? I also liked how they had the decorations of the Christmas. I go, you're on decorations? I'm processing what I got to deal with up here, right? This one's talking about the Santa Claus they had up on the roof. And I'm sitting there going, I had 3 glasses of wine. And I'm sitting, and this also flashed by my head.
What?
They got a whole operation. Because you know what they do with these checkpoints? They bring in, trailers where they process you if you're, it's a whole thing. They got, a fire truck there. It's a whole thing. They're bringing in trailers to process people. They got cop cars. They got bathrooms and shit. I'm thinking to myself, I had 2 glasses of wine and they brought is it? But you could run into Gucci and take $100,000 worth of shit and nobody's out there stopping you, right?
And now they got these trailers. If they're not full, you're like, oh man, they brought these trailers out. They got to load up some cars. Are they gonna, they're gonna start getting me on the one? I have a question. This is crazy. This is frustrating, man.
What's the question?
The question is, do you even admit that you had a glass of wine, or do you say you didn't have any wine? Because I feel like if I just say I had one, that's enough for them to go, bring him over there, Mikey, make him blow. Or if I say none, just let me go. What is this? I'd rather have Lana keep talking. It shows that this is bullshit to us. You know what I mean?
It ain't bullshit to me because my luck, I'm going to be face down on the hood in handcuffs soon. So I do this move. It's a 2-lane street. Now it's 1 lane because, they've coned it in.
Yeah.
I don't really slow down. I'd say I'm going about 35 to 40. I pull it back to about 30, 10 miles. Right. And I come in and I start scanning this thing again, like Predator. Just looking for heartbeats and shit. See where people are at. I'm looking for somebody like a cop to be going like this. Hold on. And no, I ain't seeing none of that. I'm seeing a guy there. I just go 30 miles an hour. I go right through the checkpoint. Now, would you go straight through like nothing happened? Or would you stop, roll down the window and go, hey guys? Or do you just keep going like I did and then maybe have the possibility of cops following you now
Right.
to pull you over going, why didn't you stop back there? What's your take?
Oh, man, I can't decide. I know I got Jackie next to me saying, just go, just keep going. No one stop you. I think I keep going. I think what I would do if I know my marriage good enough is I would slow down and I'd go to put the window down and look out to say, can I go? And Jackie would be going, what are you doing? Just go. Dummy, just go. And then I'd be like, I don't want to get pulled over. But then I would go. But, now I know why you were telling us how many glasses of wine and how big they were at the beginning. So, this is, one glass an hour is like, fine.
Listen, if I would have blown into a breathalyzer, I would have had a DUI.
Wow.
In my eyes.
You know who else would have? 95% of the people on the road on New Year's Eve. It's like, come on. It's and you're in an area, by the way, where the speed limit wasn't even above 30, right?
35.
Come on. Who's even going to get hurt if we hit somebody? Like, when I get pulled over in the village of Fredonia, I'm like, guy, you pulling me over? It's 30. What are we doing here, man?
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is interesting, man. What'd you do?
I blow past this thing, right?
Nice.
And I notice they're just setting it up. They're not even open for business yet, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's 10:45.
Right.
Doors open at 11:30. They're putting the lights on. They're getting everything pulled in. Everything.
Right. And they're setting up. They're letting all the dads and moms get home, giving you a few more. Right. Another 15 minutes. So no one was getting pulled over in front of you or behind you? Nothing?
No one was really even on the street. That's why I'm saying I think this was being set up for the after midnight crowd.
Yes.
Where 1:30, 2 o'clock. Yeah, that's
now,
where all that's happening.
But now you got to learn from something like this because it's the almost, when we almost get pulled over for this or that and we just kind of brush it off like, oh, I got lucky. Think about your behavior in that moment. That was a real life simulation is what that was. Are you happy with all the moves you made? Do you see things you could have did differently? Well,
what I should have did differently, and I even thought, because I've been through a checkpoint, and I've actually been stopped at a checkpoint, and I've had a couple of drinks in me, and they did exactly what you had mentioned earlier in the conversation. They come up to the car like you're guilty already, these checkpoints, right? Mm-hmm. How many glasses of wine have you had? Already, right?
Yeah. Yep. I know.
And I said, no, I haven't been drinking tonight. I know one guy that said, when's the last time you had a glass of wine? And he said, 1995. I've been sober for 30 years.
Yeah. No, that's good when you're one of those guys. They let you go right away. I find what might be a nice thing to do next time you're at someone's home and you get a little late like that. I know you don't like to bring something in your car, but a cup of coffee in the car. So when you get pulled over, if you take a couple sips, then they pull over. They're like, yeah, this guy, he's just driving with coffee at night. Like even when I pass a cop, the two things I do now, whenever I'm like driving on the freeway to my mom's or something, if I see a trooper on the side, if I have enough time, I always sing along with the music really like loud, and I sip my coffee like I'm like this. So he thinks, oh, this guy, he ain't doing anything wrong. He's like, he's not even worried about me being here. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're doing the 10 and 2 when you go by a trooper, they're like, oh, he's got a huge bag of weed in there. Yeah. So I think the 30 through the thing is like, I think if you would have stopped, you might have got a DUI, not the DUI, the other one, because they would have went, we're just setting up the barracks here, but you seem a little worried. Why don't you step over here? And then your car would be sitting up on the trail all by itself till 12:30.
They would have called the other police and, hey, Johnny, this fucking idiot He's pulling over. We're not even open yet.
I know. Oh my gosh, man. Well, that was cool. Did the piano player stay? He didn't stay the whole night, just like for an hour.
No. You know what? I pulled a move where I told the piano player to go home. I said, "You could leave now. I mean, go enjoy it. Go enjoy the countdown."
I would love to do that at a wedding. Next time there's a shitty band, just go up and give them each $100. You go, you guys been great. You guys have been great. Just beat the traffic. The hell out of here. We'll play Sinatra albums the rest of the night. I'm sure the piano player was very good, but she probably appreciated that too. She got to go out. Oh
yeah.
shit.
So sent her home, and then on New Year's Day, was it New Year's Day? No. It was New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. I had the gardeners over here, right? They were cutting the grass and whatnot, and I had the guy who cleans my car. Tell me if you think this is a nice touch. I went out there with a knot, and I just start peeling off hundreds for the guy. You know, give 100 to the guy with the cleaning. Give a guy 100 to there's 3 gardeners. Gave me each 100. Now.
Yeah.
I know from being on the other end of that.
Yeah.
When you get a hunch, and I don't know if you dealt with this at the hotel where somebody gives you a tip or whatever, but if you get 100 unexpectedly, let's say you got a weed whacker in your hand, right? And you're trimming down weeds and pulling shit out of the ground. And you get 100 in your pocket, your day after that, the boss could come up to you and go, you need to move a boulder from the driveway to the backyard, and you're like, no problem. You got 100 laced in your pocket.
It's nice.
Your whole day changes. It changed my day. I used to be a waiter. I get 100 in the beginning of the shift. I was skipping around hey, how you doing today? Right?
I used to get $20 tips, and I appreciate it, but only a couple people would give me a hunch, and I never forgot their face when I worked at the hotel. Right? Oh, man. You give me a hunch. Next time you come to the hotel, I see you at the end of the line. I dot you. Come over here. What do you need? What do you need? Mm-hmm. That's a solid night out of dinner and drinking in New York City when I was young. Oh, it's my Saturday night. You gave me my Saturday night, guy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Something about 100, though. I tell you, I think we went over this on a previous cast. When that guy takes his 100 to go spend it, he revisits the moment he got the 100. I know I used to do it.
Yeah.
When I take the $100 out to pay, it was almost like the guy's face was on the $100 bill. They gave it to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's that. Listen, I agree 100%. You could have a bunch of 20s in your pocket. You don't know how you came across them. You got a hunch. I got one in my wallet right now, a solo hunch wrapped around 20s. Yeah. And I'm trying to go as long as I can without having to break it because I like to see it wrapped around the whole thing. It was from my mother-in-law on a Christmas card. Every time I look at the hunch, I know that. That's the hunch from the mother-in-law. That's it. Yeah. And when they're hunches that I had to get out of the bank, I love them less.
I do.
Yeah. When I come across one unexpectedly, an unexpected hunch is just, it's a nice hunch.
It's beautiful. But here's another thing I did. And let me know your thoughts on this. UPS guy got out of the car. I gave him a hunch. What's your feelings on giving like the UPS guy that delivers boxes to your house all day, all year?
Wow.
You get a tip?
That's a nice touch. I don't have a regular guy. We got this new doorbell, and right before Christmas, I was out with Jackie, and on my app, I could see it was beeping, so I looked at it, and I could talk to him. And he's like, it's booze. I can't leave it. By the way, it was a fantastic bottle of wine from Watt. I mean, come on. The guy Just thank you, JJ. Just fantastic. But yeah, for guests, this is like the kind of bottle of wine that, you know, someone like you has to be staying here for me to break this shit open. But I said to the delivery guy, I'll be home in 20 minutes. Shit. And he goes, I'll swing back around when I come back around. So when he swung back around, I gave him $10. And he's like, oh, shit, thanks, man. You didn't have to do that. So, I mean, to tip the guy $100, and you know what he does in his head when I do that? If someone does that for me, wow, if every guy, family I deliver as much as I deliver to this family gave me 100, I would have about $6,000 in my pocket. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. It feels good too to peel them out, right? You like Sinatra, baby.
I tell you, it's beautiful. It really is a beautiful thing. The guy that picks up, I got a guy that picks up the dry cleaning at the house. He got a hunch. Basically, anybody I came across that day was getting $100.
Oh man, that's nice. That's nice.
So that's the New Year's.
Were you up? Were you even up at midnight? I wasn't even up.
In bed.
Me too.
11 o'clock in bed.
I know. I watched the New Zealand ball drop in the afternoon. It works for me.
Oh shit. So that was basically the New Year's. I wanted to get into something else here. New Year's. 2 nights ago. Now I take CBD to sleep, right? CBD oil or CBD gummy bears. CBD heavy. Touch of THC, but not much. So I had this chocolate bar that I thought was CBD. And I had about 3 squares of this thing, right? I'd say about 45 minutes in, I'm dying laughing for no reason, right? Yeah. Dying laughing.
It's great. It's great.
I'm in bed with Lana and I'm crying laughing for no reason. Just like I'm thinking like stupid thoughts, but now and I gotta ask you this because you're more familiar with the pot than I am. My head is like scrambled eggs, bro. Like I'm so high that like I feel like my brain came apart. You know, like it actually came apart.
Okay.
And there's like a windstorm up there.
Since that.
No, that night during.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever been this high before. I don't know what the fuck was in this chocolate.
Right.
If it was THC or thinking, is it laced with heroin?
If it was laced with heroin, you'd probably wake up wanting a couple more squares the next morning, apparently. That's what they say about that shit. It's addictive. But, yeah, totally THC. But you weren't expecting it, so it hit you even harder. And you know what I equated to? I mean, I don't really like the edibles. They don't even do anything for me. But getting really high, it's kind of like if you go to surf and you're on a wave and you're like, dude, the water was in my face. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what I was doing. And you're like, you just don't know how to ride the wave yet. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do with that? I was like laughing. I was dying laughing. Yeah. But then I'm like, I got to go to sleep. Because I don't know if I could like take all this right now that's going on with me.
Right? And you're alone as far as you're the only one. You're the only one who ate it. And you want to go to sleep. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So what happened? Just laying in bed, thoughts going all over the place.
Laying in bed, and I just feel like there's just a frenetic energy in my head, right?
Yeah.
And then I finally go to bed, and then Lana was up doing stuff, walking around. I don't know what the hell was going on. So I remember one point I got up. I go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" You know, like dumb. Just she's like, "Nothing. I just went to the living room to get something." and I went back to sleep. And then about 3 a.m, I woke up and I'm like, still? Like it's still here?
Wow.
What's the duration of a high generally last?
Well, it depends with those edibles. Like I said, they don't really do much for me because I smoke a lot. But some people will take like not even a lot. I have friends and they're like, "Oh my god, we were like for like 4 or 5 hours, we were loopy," and I'm like, "Wow." So yeah, man, three squares. That's probably 5, whatever they call MGs in a square. They recommend like taking 1 and then maybe taking 2 if you don't normally take them. To pop 3 at once. For a person who doesn't take them, it's a nice ride, man. That's a sit back, put on a Doors album, and light some incense, guy.
So here's the thing. I told my mom I did this, right?
Yeah.
Because my mom was there the night I was doing this. I did it right in front of her. And she slept here that night. And woke up, I go, I don't know, that pot kicked in. And she's like, enough with that shit. Like you ever get like a parent on the no pot train? Because
Yeah.
I don't really do this on a day to day. She don't think ever has smoked pot.
Right.
So the way she reacted as if I did an 8-ball of coke before I went to bed. Right? She woke up in the morning. Enough with this shit. Like
Yeah.
It's chocolate.
It's but I it's weird how it was illegal for them growing up. Like for us, it was illegal. It makes us wonder. Like, is my daughter going to be 35 years old having a barbecue? And hold on, Dad, I'm just doing a tab of acid. And I'm like, what are you doing with that shit? She's like, you can get it at 7-Eleven, 5 tabs for $1, Dad. So that's probably what this is to your mom. But bro, also the CBD, she's probably enough with that. All you people with the CBD. I mean,
yeah. So she was all upset. And here's my question. I go, is it just because it's coming in a gummy bear or a chocolate that it's more socially acceptable? Like, if they start putting like heroin and cocaine in a chocolate bar, is that all of a sudden now like, give me half a chocolate?
Yeah, it's all in the marketing, bro. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy with the pot stuff, though, right? Because with the gummies, they're like, why don't you just, make it look like a piece of Hubba Bubba? It's like you're trying to get kids to take this shit,
Right? Gummy bears, yeah.
Yeah. Make it look like something a kid wouldn't want, because that's the big deal. I've held a package up to once to see, but I don't even have any more, man. I'm looking around. I don't like the edibles. I don't even like the vape.
I like the edibles because there's no smell attached to it. There's no smoke. There's no ash. You do a couple gummy bears and you go to bed and no one knows otherwise.
Yeah, I watched Miley Cyrus. She's gotten, she grew up, man. When she was younger, I found her to be a little hard to handle with. Like, I saw an interview with her and she's like, I'm turned up when she was younger. And it turned me off to her for a while. But she's very talented. She's got a nice voice. She did a classy job. And I couldn't find Seacrest, though, man. I mean, how do you bring in the new year without Seacrest? I couldn't find him on my channel.
It's like the modern day Dick Clark, this guy.
Absolutely. And I love telling the story about how you said he has food segments on his daytime show just because he needs to eat. That's how busy this guy is. It's unbelievable.
So how classy this guy is. His outfit, tuxedoed out, right? Not only had a tuxedo on, had an overcoat on, but, and you don't see this a lot, in the overcoat, pocket square. Beautiful.
Wow.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. No, this
Can't beat it.
Always dressed properly, man.
Oh, yeah. So that was basically the New Year's. Okay, let's get into your gift here. All right.
My
So
gift.
Pete and the Correale family sent over, and I got to tell you, and I'm going to be just transparent and honest with you. You need an engineering degree to figure this thing out.
Oh, you don't, bro. You know you don't.
Bro, this thing...
I like that you're trying, though.
For the listeners out there, Pete gave me a karaoke machine, but this ain't any normal karaoke machine.
No.
This thing comes with 2 wireless mics, right?
Yes.
And then it's got a full screen on it where you could get music from Apple, YouTube, Spotify. Bro,
I know.
you could log in on it works on Wi-Fi. I gotta bring in an engineer to figure this thing out.
I have a lesser version as far as because mine is awesome. By the way, it lights up when you sing. It does a lot of cool. The mics are beautiful. You can even use it as just a giant speaker if you have a party and want to be like, all right, everybody line up in the backyard.
Bro, I'm a step ahead of you. I'm using it to talk to my kids when I want them to sit down and eat dinner. I get on the thing. I could get. We're eating dinner. Sit down. It's like a megaphone.
Oh, beautiful!
I'm wheeling it around the house. It's like a luggage. It comes with like a luggage thing. Yeah. I'm walking around the house with this with a microphone, yelling at my kids.
Oh my God, bro! Now. The one that you got, I saw that online. It's a newer version where you can literally, like you said, the words appear. Because with mine, I got to go on my phone and Google it, and then we like lean up the phone and we read it off it. But this one, it'll appear right on that screen. So when you're singing, the lyrics will be right there. Now, once you get it all figured out, maybe with a little help from somebody, you can't tell me on a Sunday afternoon when Dad's visiting, you set him up with a little Sinatra and hand him the mic and the lyrics are sitting there. It is addictive, bro.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't even know how to get the karaoke thing to work yet. Like you're saying, the screen and shit. Lana's been at it too. Right now, we got Serafina's using it right now. She's going on her first audition for her school play for Mary Poppins.
Oh,
she's singing. What's that song? The spoonful of sugar. She's belting it out into the karaoke machine.
I love it. Just a spoonful. Oh, that's beautiful. Now the first one I got. It didn't work. I couldn't get it to work, so I had to send it back, and they gave me a new one, and I went to set that up, and I was like, oh, God, the first one was broken. This is so easy, so I'm hoping that's not the case with you.
No, it's not. It's not broken, bro. It's
all right. It just takes a long time. I'm glad.
It's one of these things where you take it out of the box, and there's the manual.
Oh,
but then you go, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
Can't figure it out.
No,
I gotta go to the manual.
And by the way, you ever open those manuals and I can't believe how many languages they have in these things, right? It takes me 10 minutes to find American. Like, you're not telling me there shouldn't be a separate manual just for fucking America. You're making me fish through Portugal and fucking Russia. We all know everyone's going to the America, right? Istanbul. Where's our fucking language here? Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree. You know, sometimes when you go on the internet, you're signing up for something, and it asks you for your address and asks you for what country you live in, and you press the scroll down menu, and then the first one is United States, and then it starts with A, B, C.
I love it. I know. I even get pissed when I got to scroll just for New York. Like when I'm like doing a flight or something, I feel like even states should be like, why is New York halfway down? I know you're doing alphabetical order, but I mean, come on. Look at all these places I got. It should be New York, California, Texas, Florida, and then I don't know, man. I don't know. Now everyone was mad at me. I'm kidding, man. But I'm so good now, though. When I do the scroll, I know how hard to hit my phone to make it roll to land on New York.
That's beautiful. Yeah, just a little flick. It's almost like what is that? It's the Wheel of Fortune. You
Yes.
almost know how much to get for $1,000. Oh man.
So I don't even know what the hell I was talking about, man. But what was I talking about? Do you remember? Or were we just talking?
we're talking. Did you have a chocolate?
Well, no, but were we talking about something before we went on the little tangent there?
We were talking about, hey, what the hell were we talking about?
remember.
What the hell we were just talking about? What the hell? We were just-
We're talking about New Year's or something.
What we were just talking about just now.
Karaoke machine was what we were
Karaoke.
talking about. All right. Yes. Well, I'm glad you like it. When you get a feel for it, I think it might be a nice show if we each, down the line, do a recording at our homes of a chosen tune, videotape it, post them up there, and
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. As soon as I get these words up on the screen, I'll do that. Figure out how to work this damn thing.
So, all right. So I want to tell you, as I told you off air, Sadie tested positive for, I don't know if it's Delta, the Omicron, I don't know what. All I know is 0 symptoms, right? And it's the night before first day of school is going to start on Monday, right? So the night before, the school sets up between 4:30 and 6:30 at night. They want every parent to come and get a rapid test to test their child at home, all right? So we pull up to get it. By the way, too, it's like 5:30 at night. There's 3 teachers that work for the school, the superintendent. It's freezing out. Snow's coming out. They got to wear masks when we pull up. And Jackie, she denies she was doing this, but she was making a little small talk. She's like, how you guys doing? Oh, hope you... And I'm like, there's a line of cars. You should... I shouldn't even stop. I should just do a slow roll and you yell, 1 kid. And they talk, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So... yeah. Again, overall, seeing what's going on. Now, we go home, we read the thing, and this is one of those, you do it up the nose, and there's 2 lines. I wasn't familiar with this, so if you are, I apologize, but it's like a C and I think a T. And if there's a line, there has to be a line across the next to the C, which means the test is working. And then if there's a line across the T, you're positive, right? So we do it. You got to wait 15 minutes. Sadie, we tell her to go take a shower. While she's in the shower, and we're going to have, we got a nice pasta. Jackie had a nice lasagna going. So while she's in the shower, we look at it, and it's positive, And I go, these things aren't accurate, man. I go, well, let's just tell her it didn't work, and we'll do the next one, right? So we go, she comes down, we do the next one, we heat up the pasta, right? While we're waiting, that comes back positive. Sadie doesn't know how to read it, so she's looking at it. She's like, yeah, 2 lines, negative, And I'm like, yeah, So she leaves the room. I'm like, oh man, what are we gonna do? She feels nothing. Now, I will be honest. For a half a second, I said, let's just freaking. Maybe we just put her in, and then we'll both like, we can't. She's got a mask on anyway, but that's bad karma, and I wouldn't do that, right? So we got to tell her, but Jackie's like, what do you want to tell her? And I got asked, do you think, I thought this was a nice move, especially with a kid. I go, let her enjoy the lasagna, and then after dinner and after dessert, we'll pretend that like, oh, it wasn't working yet, and now it showed up. So, and Jackie agreed. So it was kind of hard, though, because the kid's sitting there eating lasagna, going, first day back. And, I'm kind of like, not for you, So then when you tell her, you know, because the way it is and what happened to her grandfather and stuff, she starts crying. I'm gonna die. You know, I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're fine. You're fine. It's not even, you know. So you're doing all that with her and stuff like that. And then she calmed down pretty quick, and we explained, you know, it's just gonna be an annoyance. We got to stay home and blah blah blah. So, and now she's wrapped her head around it, but you know,
Are you walking around with masks? How you doing? What are you guys doing?
Nothing. I mean, I'm like doing the DVD player, and she's like setting up a thing, and she's like just coughing like right on me and stuff. And it's been 3 days. Nothing, guy. I got to watch what I say. You know, I've been lucky, and I'm knocking on wood. But boy, you know, if it keeps going this way, I might buy a timeshare in Wuhan, just a vacation in the summer.
Well,
I try, you know. So anyway,
a million people got it yesterday. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know, but that's because everyone's got to get tested to do anything. But it's like, I'm one of those where I believe, you know, it's a you know, thank God it's not as strong. I feel like it's like the second earthquake, which isn't as strong as the first one, that makes you think, all right, that might be the last earthquake. That's positive thinking. Yeah. Positive thinking. Is that all right with you, Fauci? Jeez Louise.
I agree. I think we're coming out of this. I think 3 weeks.
I'm coming out of it. I don't give a fuck if anyone else is. I am.
Oh God! But yeah, I think we're coming out of it. I feel optimistic here. I think we're. I'm going to Las Vegas, do some shows. All my shows are
nice,
up and running. And I know a lot of you are wondering, oh, since you canceled or rescheduled New York, all your other shows, all the other shows are up and running. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have a good time out there. Other than that, man, I watched House of Gucci movie. You hear about it?
I watched it too.
Oh.
I just watched it.
I couldn't get over the brother. He doesn't like my creativity.
The designer. He thought he was a designer.
The Jared Leto guy, the character. What was that? I couldn't. Is that the way the guy acts? Like the real guy?
I guess so. The one that Pacino yelled at, like his son.
Yeah, his son. His son.
Yeah.
I know. He loves.
I work so hard for him all the time. He was a gay Fredo, right?
Gay Fredo.
Yeah.
Oh God!
I didn't like it.
I shut it off halfway through.
I gotta be honest with you. Lady Gaga, her acting was phenomenal as always, but the character, who would not leave you? You're annoying the shit out of me, right? And then he's on the steps and he's like, "It's over. It's over. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of a daughter." But it's over. He goes, "What do you?" The worst thing your ex could say to you is when he just looks at her and he's like something along the lines, right? He's like, "What are you doing here?" You know, it's just so like, this shit is so over. I haven't thought about you since you would stand, you know. I don't know. I didn't like it. I get a lot of the movies through the Writers Guild. They send all the DVDs and stuff. And I haven't even been able to get through too many of them. I mean, get through them.
Any other ones? I think there's one called Licorice or something.
Licorice Pizza. Licorice Pizza. Yeah. Couldn't get through it. Couldn't get through it.
How about Tender with Ben Affleck? Tender,
yeah. I don't do full sit downs for Ben Affleck movies now. I mean, if he's in one with other people, I will. But when he's the lead, it has to be more like I'm sitting down surfing and what is this? I'll check it out. But like a full excited sit down, that's your BPs, your LDs, you know, stuff like that.
I watched Look Up.
I didn't watch it yet. I'm not hearing good things.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Global warming, right?
I don't like any. Let me tell you what happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me just tell you. Talk about movies. I'm flipping around. I noticed Cinemax got a Rocky marathon. I turn it on. I got Seraphine on my lap. And it's Rocky 2. And he's going to go fight Apollo, right? Mm-hmm. He's late. He's late to the fight because he had to go and see Father Carmine, the whole thing, right? So he walks in late. And he's praying at the sink. Right? And I gotta tell you, and you don't see this a lot on boxers, the robe, but then like the towel tucked inside the robe. Yeah. So he's like bundled up.
I know.
It's a beautiful
hood up too, right? Hood up.
Hood up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he gets to the ring and he's getting the shit kicked out of him for the first 2 rounds. But then after that second round, that music pipes in. My body had chills from head to toe when the music kicks in into the fight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Now, I watched the entire fight scene. Serafina's like, why is he bleeding? I said, well, he's getting hit, getting hit. Then they both go down. Rocky gets up. And then at the end, and then the shot. And then he's got the belt. And he's got the belt like almost like a little beaver with a walnut, right? He's holding it. And he's like, besides my kid being born, it's the greatest night of my life. And he does the whole, yo, Adrian, I did it. I'm bawling. I'm crying. I am crying with my daughter on my lap.
Wow.
She goes, why are you crying? I go, you won't understand until you get older. But this movie is about never quitting and never giving up, right? Now, that ends. Rocky 3 starts right after this. Now, Rocky 3 starts with the ending of 2, with them going down, right?
Yeah.
The speech, the yo, Adrian, smash cut to Stallone doing, like, looks beautiful. And Rocky 3 looks like a new guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's loaded now.
Haircut, shredded, beating shit out of people on the cover of GQ, and then you see Clubber Lang coming to the party, or coming to the fights, feathers coming off his ear, right?
Yeah.
And here's a look that I gotta replicate, and I'm sorry. Paulie's jealous of Rocky. Goes into a video arcade game, sees his pinball machine, throws his bottle of liquor at the pinball machine, gets thrown in jail. Rocky's got to come get him out of jail. Now, go look at this on YouTube, people. Stallone comes to the cell with a camel overcoat, right?
Yeah.
With a tie knot that looks as big as your Adam's apple right now, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's got that little gold, what do you call that? Like a gold clutch on the tie. Remember it was big in the 80s, early 90s? That little piece of jewelry that held the tie.
Didn't it have a little chain on it too? Like a little dangling chain across it? Yeah.
It's like a mini necklace for the tie, bro.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, man. He was good to Paulie. And Paulie was constantly like, what are you angry about, guy? You got a robot serving you coffee here, right? Wasn't that in 3?
Oh, yeah. Talk about the robot.
Yeah.
I think it was gotta be, God, when did that movie come out? This has got mid-80s. I go to an auto show in Chicago. They had the robot at the auto show.
Holy shit.
And I was in line to see the robot, right? And we were going nuts. It's the Rocky robot. Rocky was right next to the robot.
Oh, my God. Oh, shit. Imagine Butkus, the dog, was by the pickups or something. Oh, my God. Oh, that's one. You got to tell that when you finally do hang out with Stallone. I'm so excited to meet you guys. I was excited to meet the robot that you did. Unbelievable, man.
So nice.
I've been watching, though, on Paramount TV. It's only been 2 episodes now, 3 episodes. It's called 1883 because that's the year it takes place. And they're moving, stars Sam Elliott, and he's moving a bunch of immigrants out west to unknown area, right, to settle. And the 2 leads in it are, believe it or not, Tim McGraw and his wife, Faith Hill. And this thing is great. I freaking love it, man. It's a great show.
Isn't it the spinoff of Yellowstone?
It is, man. I like it more than Yellowstone.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta take a look at it.
Really good. So, what was I going to say? By the way, so this morning, Jackie was doing FaceTime. A friend had called her, and they're in the kitchen doing FaceTime. Old friend for a long time. At one point, I do the lean around and just say, hi, hey, how you doing, like that. And she's like, she's doing her eye makeup like this, and she goes, oh, hey, Pete, you know. And she's always so sweet to me, but I felt a tinge of that, like, is it wrong to do a lean-in on somebody else's FaceTime call if it's in your house like that?
No, but what I think is wrong, if it's opposite, if Jackie came to you with the FaceTime and you were like cooking or doing something and she's like, say hi to that, and you're like, hey, I don't want to get into this call.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think you could jump in on a call if that call is happening in the house, but I don't think Jackie can intrude on your personal time with like, hey, look at the. I'm not into that.
That's funny because I've had a few of those where she's doing the FaceTime and she didn't turn it on me, but I was worried that might happen, and I don't want that, right? I'm like, listen, I got my glasses on right now. I don't, you know. Interesting. So what is this show going anywhere? Where is this going to even post? What are we doing?
No, it's posting like it's always posted. There's nothing different for the listeners except, I don't know, it might not be on iHeartRadio. I don't even think a lot of people are even getting it off the iHeartRadio. Apple Tunes, Stitcher, or whatever the hell. Wherever you get your podcasts, you're still going to find us. We're working through free agency right now. And we're going to find a home shortly. But, yeah, that's where we're at. We got, you got any show dates coming up? What do you do? You around this weekend?
All right. Just want to let you know, as I said earlier, we're going to get the T-shirts up and running again. I'll keep you guys posted on the show when that happens. Don't forget, February 19th, Saturday night, I'm coming to Chicago, playing the City Winery in Chicago. I hear it's a great venue. I'm psyched. And then, of course, big one, March 12th, Saturday night, Paramount Theater on Long Island, baby. Bringing the funny home where I'm from. Very excited for that. Tickets are going. Hope you guys can make it to that. Happy New Year. Take us out, Sebastian.
All right.
Yeah.
So check out Pete at his website for show dates, SebastianLive.com for myself. We are above and beyond our time here. Always a pleasure talking to the great Pete Correale.
Yeah,
My name is Sebastian Maniscalco. And we will see you next week. Free agency.
Later, man.